From Buffalo, New York, we travel 339 miles across the border up north. Here in Ottawa, Ontario, it's Game 3 of the Eastern Conference Final, with this series tied at 1 game for either side. Sit back and enjoy this one as we are underway from Ottawa, packed to the rooftops. Per usual here for the Senators, who still have only lost 1 game this postseason, and it came here in this series. Krebs a shot on Omar, denied to get things going. Buffalo took the first game of this series against the Senators. Senators even the series up at a game apiece 2 nights ago. Now in Game 3, winner looking to take the advantage 2-1 in this series. This one in on Omar, and he denies the second shot early on net for Buffalo. Face-off control by the Sabres. Samuelson kicked out by Omar. Thompson keeps it alive back up to the point, and Dahlin. Thompson now downstairs. Omar holds his ground again. 4 early shots on goal for Buffalo to start this game, and we're not even 60 seconds in. Thompson will face off against Stützle in the Ottawa end. Samuelson off the blocker of Omar. Just able to get a pace. Out in front, another save. Tage Thompson that time let it fly. 6 shot on goals on this first turn for Buffalo. Samuelson with a bobble, and Zetterlund finally kicks it out of the zone. What a start for the Sabres. 6 shots on goal within the first minute of game time. Thompson will walk his way back through center ice. Works his way into the zone. Tried to cut inside. Good cut off by Zub defensively. Thompson with a big hit behind the boards, but the Senators gain control. Shane Pinto brings it up wide, looking for a center, and this one goes off a body. Gregg now a shot off of the blocker, and it comes to the near side. Both of these teams off to a good start. Back and forth we go down the ice. Battle forward and center. Ottawa gains control. Cousins back in. Pestered by Dahlin. Buffalo gains control. Near side, Josh Doan. Inside, Tage Thompson. A shot. Blocked down by Omar. Doan now below the goal line. Keeps it alive out in front. Thompson with a bobble. Into the slot. Omar finds the puck. Not even 3 minutes into this game. 8 shots on goal already for the Sabres. Senators win the faceoff, getting outshot 8-1 in the first 3 minutes of game time. Battle forward and center. Poked into the Buffalo end, but the Sabres will gain control. Cousins on the intercept, brings it in, loses the puck, and it comes in on Luukkonen, who gets it out to Norris through center ice. Norris, a centering pass, and never got through. And Jensen gains control for the Senators. A turnover. Tuck tried to let it fly, and it floats back out to center. Jensen now up the near boards, puts the brakes on. Inside, Perrin, a shot, gloved down by Luukkonen. Second shot on goal for the Senators, 10 overall. Not even 4 minutes gone by. Hot start to this game. Benson gets knocked down, but Buffalo keeps it alive in their own end. Cousins turns back, but leaves the zone. Senators have to tag back up as they battle in neutral ice. Spence brings it up ahead. Spence pestered on his way in by Metsä. A turnover and a shot gloved down by Luukkonen. A lot of action on both ends of the ice to start this game. Senators winners of Game 2 down in Buffalo, even the series at a game apiece. After the Sabres took Game 1 here over Ottawa. Spence never got it off. And a loose puck goes off of Luukkonen and wide. In down low, Cousins. He got cross-checked. That's going to be a penalty. Omar goes to the bench for an extra skater. Goes into the corner, and there's the whistle. 4 minutes and 45 seconds have gone by in our first power play of the game upcoming. It's a cross-check on Ryan McLeod. Into the penalty box he goes, and a power play upcoming for the Senators here at home. Early man advantage here for Ottawa in Game 3. Pinto will face off, and Greenway wins it for Buffalo. Alexander Tuch flips it ahead. Sanderson battles in the corner. Loose puck controlled by Pinto. Pinto brings it up the far board, starts the break in. Centers to Perrin. Cut off by Samuelson, and it comes out of the zone. Alexander Tuch cut off by Batherson. Good defense. Here's Sanderson. Number 85 in the black sweater. Brings it up ahead, and the bobbled puck controlled, and out of play it goes. Minute 18 left on the power play. 5 shots on goal now for the Senators, and 1 on this man advantage. Face-off controlled by Buffalo. Sabres work it to the near boards and out of the zone. Fed in deep around. Garreau gains control, pinned into the corner. Floats back out to Cousins here for the Senators. Chabot up ahead to Brady Tkachuk, who brings it up ahead. Tkachuk with a big hit. He's been delivering blows all over the place in the first 3 games, and he flips it down the length of the ice. Brady Tkachuk has been absolutely leveling Buffalo Sabres all over the place through the first 2 games, and now carrying over into Game 3. Just under 30 seconds to go on the power play here for the Senators. Tkachuk has it on the near boards. Tkachuk to the other side, and Chabot walks it into the slot. Goes off a body. Loose puck goes down low. Chabot loses it off the side of the cage. Body's fighting down low. Goes to Power, who feeds Malenstein, who flips it up and out. And that is the rest of the time on this penalty. Back to full strength comes Buffalo. Gregg up ahead to Jensen, who takes a shoulder. Keeps it on side, and it deflects off his skate. Tkachuk floats it along the far half wall and all the way out. Benson jumps on it, and here come the Sabres. Benson cuts inside, denied by Omar. Amadio pinned to the boards on the near boards. Metza is there, number 73 in the white sweater. Amadio gains control here for Ottawa. Cousins gains control, back to Tkachuk. Jensen walks it into the zone. Flips it in deep. Metza kicks it in down low. Krebs gains control now out through center ice. Krebs walks it up ahead, looking for a center. Down low below the goal line. Benson now to McLeod. Inside. Bobbled puck down on the doorstep. Never got through. And Zetterlund gains control. Perrin now flips it ahead. Allows for a change, but it comes quickly back out to center. Benson back into the zone. Sends it wide of the net. Senators gain control. Zetterlund takes a hit, a turnover, and a blocker out in front by Spence off the skate. Floats to the far half wall. McLeod met. Krebs now, backhanded try, goes wide. Spence on the near boards now. Battle for it in the Senators' end. And Zub is there out in front. Perrin will exit here for Ottawa. Zetterlund and Perrin play catch, and this shot kicked down by Luukkonen and goes just wide of the net. To the near boards, Pinto keeps it alive. Cuts inside on Luukkonen. Off the post. Back into the corner now, down below the goal line. Sanderson picked off by McLeod, and Buffalo gains control in their own end. Good start to this game. Quick start to this game as we're already halfway through a scoreless opening period. Dahlin has to tag back up. McLeod back into the zone. Squares his body to the point, and Dahlin inside Krebs off a body. Hack and whack in the middle, still loose. And Zub gains control. Loose puck right wing circle. Krebs out in front, blocked out in front of McLeod. Amadio now gains control here for the Senators as he circles around. Long time without a whistle here in the first. Outside Gregg, inside Pinto off a body. Metza gains control, pinned to the boards. To the near side, McLeod gains control now. Gregg takes it away. Here's Amadio. Back to Sanderson now. Pinto goes off his skate to the far boards. And it goes out of the zone and all the way back down. Race for the puck as we're under 9 to go in the opening period. 10 shots on goal for Buffalo. 6 for Ottawa. Into back in, Amadio now a shot, smothered by Lukanen. And finally a whistle, 8.5 to go in the opening period. And a stoppage. Buffalo gains control in their own end. Zucker will walk it out through center. Zucker brings it in wide. Back out in front. Norris with a good shot. Blocked out in front. Here's Tuck. Gloved down by Omar. Faceoff sits on the dot. Tuck out in front. Zucker denied. Rebound stopped again by Omar. 2 tries down low for Buffalo. Ottawa gets it out of the zone. Cousins to the outside. Kachuk loses control. Batherson into the slot. Whiffed. Good poke from behind. Turnover. Kachuk tried to let it fly. It goes in down low. Cousins along the far half wall. Jensen can't get there. Norris gains control here for the Sabres. Tuck loses control, flip and follow attempt. Tuck gets on it, works it in down low. Feeds to the point, overskated by Thompson, but he keeps it in. Metsa now squares his body, tipped in! Zucker out in front, deflects it home, and Buffalo breaks the ice here in Ottawa. Beautiful redirect out in front, gets it past Olmark. And the Sabres able to quiet the crowd first. It's 1-0 Buffalo here on the road. Beautiful redirect out in front. Let's take a look. Zucker right there, guarded by Jensen. Out in front. It's a beautiful redirect. And a beautiful play for the Sabres. They strike first here in an entertaining opening period here from Ottawa. 1-0 Sabres have the lead. At the 7-minute mark to go in the opening period as well. 15 shots on goal for the Sabres, and they finally get home. Ottawa looking to respond. They have 7 shots on goal. Scuso blocked out in front. Good defense by Buffalo. Here's Byram through center ice. Byram out in front. Save Volmark, and he smothers with 6:27 to go. Senators gain control in their own end. A turnover. Here's Doan inside to Krebs, trying to drop it off in the trailer. Buffalo keeps it alive. Byram tried to square his body. Poked away twice. Good defense by Ottawa. Perrin will feed it ahead. Puck is met by Power. He takes a hit along the near boards. Here's Tage Thompson. Under 6 to play in the opening period. Thompson tried to let it fly. Here's Doan. Behind the back to Thompson. Tips in the air. And it goes in back behind the net. Greenway gets knocked down for a penalty. Another cross-check. This time it's on the Senators. Jordan Spence in back behind the net. Knocks Greenway to the ground. There's number 10 in the black sweater with the cross-check. Jordan Spence, the guilty party, and Buffalo's going to go to a power play here. Man advantage here for the Sabres. They win the draw on a shot blocked out in front, and the Senators will flip it ahead. First guy to it is Dahlin, chased down by Power, who's playing shorthanded defense. Dahlin up ahead, Zucker, back to Norris. Norris works in, sends it in on Olmarker, forks it wide. Norris now loses control on the goal line. Back up to Byram, a one-timer off the blocker of Olmark. Sanderson flips it off the boards, but kept in at the line. Norris on the wing, back to Doan. Inside and a whiff by Zucker, and Olmark finds it. .452 left in the opening period, minute 16 to go on the Buffalo penalty as this one goes in on Olmark and another stoppage. 19 shots on goal for Buffalo, just 7 for the Senators in a 1-0 game from the opening period. Face-off control by the Sabres. Dahlin fires wide. Near side Thompson over skates. Anderson there for Ottawa, and he flips it down the length of the ice. 1 minute to go on the man advantage. Quinn feeds Tage Thompson up ahead. Weaves his way to the outside. In down low, out in front. Short-sided attempt denied. Rebound never got through. And it goes out to the right wing circle. Amadio is there, and he flips it ahead. Dahlin chases it down for the Sabres, who now have 20 shots on goal in this opening period. Benson walks it back in. Back out to Tuck. Fires a shot blocked. Comes to the near corner. Stützle pinned to the boards by number 22, Quinn in the white sweater. Clevin now pinned along the boards. Floats back towards the line, kept in by Dahlin. Final seconds of the penalty into the slot. Ottawa controls. Quinn now a shot denied by Omar. Penalty expires. 3:32 to go in the opening period, and Ottawa kills off the penalty. Both teams now 0 for 1 on the power play to start this game. Faceoff goes in back behind for Ottawa. Under 3.5 to go in the first period. 1-0 Sabres. They take it away. Byram inside. Pestered puck goes to Brady Tkachuk. Chabot exits the zone, takes a big hit along the near boards. Buffalo feeds it back into the Ottawa end. Back for Brady Tkachuk. Cousins now across the red line, pestered, but he feeds it in. Circles the boards around, over skated to the near side, Greenwood. Cross ice to Byram. Inside Ostlund, weaves to the outside, goes off a body. And now into the trapezoid they fight. Malenstein is there, Chabot picks it off, and Brady Tkachuk has the puck. Tkachuk goes off his skate to the far side. Just over 2 minutes left in the opening period. 1-0 Buffalo. Jensen turns back for Cousins. Denied. Luukkonen sprawls out and it goes wide. Into the trapezoid back behind the net. Ostlund picks out the loose change and feeds Greenwood. Wainwright brings it up ahead. Centering pass to no man's land. Perrin is there for the Senators. And he flips it ahead again. Circles around over skated. Ottawa keeps it alive on the point. Chabot forked wide by Luukkonen. Halliday now back up to the point. A one-timer goes into the far corner off a body. Into the trapezoid they battle to the far half wall now. Greenway wins the race. Floats back out to the point. Chabot. Chabot feeds it in deep. Circles around for Cousins. Cousins met in down low. We're under a minute now in the period, and Buffalo will exit. Norris brings it up 3-on-1 in favor of the Senators. Norris to the near side. Inside McLeod off the shoulder of Omar. Into the corner, Gregg pinned to the boards. Norris is there for Buffalo. 23 seconds to go, and it comes all the way down. Race for the puck. Luukkonen finds it. 15 seconds to go. Face off here in the Sabres end. With 15 seconds to go in the period, Buffalo will walk it out. Here's Alex Tuck. Outskates one, works his way in for Zucker up the blocker of Omar. Final seconds tick down in the opening period. And Bryson never got a shot off. We are through one here in Game 3 of the Eastern Conference Finals. It's 1-0 Buffalo here on the road. Start of the second period here in Ottawa. It's 1-0 Buffalo out on front. 23 shots on goal in that first period led the way for the Sabres in a 1-0 lead. We start the second as the Senators look to potentially get the equalizer, and Buffalo looks to add on. Samuelson into the zone, fires a shot, knocked away by Omar. 24 shots on goal now for Buffalo. Ottawa still looking for number 10. Garreau drops it off for Stützle, a shot, gloved down by Luukkonen. 10th shot on goal of the game for the Senators. Luukkonen pitched a shutout bid in that opening period. Thompson wins the draw here for the Sabres. Dahlin feeds Doan up ahead. Now Krebs bobbles off his skates to the top of the slot, taken away by Zetterlund. Zetterlund cross to Garreau, bobbled on the inside. Doan takes it away for the Sabres. Stützle jumps on it, short-sighted attempt off the blocker of Luukkonen, and the rebound comes to Dahlin. Tage Thompson now as Ottawa gets caught in a change. Zub will walk it up here for the Senators. Weaves his way to the outside down low. Zub out in front, Gregg with a bobble, still loose into the slot, and Buffalo will exit. Here's Tage Thompson up ahead. Fires a shot, got tipped out in front, but still able to get a piece of it as Ullmark. As it goes in down low for Zucker. Out in front, Thompson denied on the one-timer. And a penalty is called. And this one's going to go on Ottawa for a hold. Thomas Chabot, the guilty party, down low. And there it is right there, pinning Zucker to the boards after the puck had vacated the area. And he is not happy about it. So second power play of the game upcoming here for the Sabres. Already with a 1-0 lead, and they win the faceoff. Power squares it up. Here's Quinn. Him in power play catch. Byram has a shot blocked out in front, and the Senators will clear. "26 shots on goal for the Sabres, 11 here for Ottawa. Loose puck in center, controlled by Byram, who brings it in. Tried to load up a shot, cut off on his way through. Benson now goes off of Ullmark. In down low, Benson. To the wing, it's Quinn. Fires a shot off a body, and it goes in down low. Benson into the boards back behind the net. Floats to the near boards for Power. Power cut off by Clevin. And a battle for it into the corner again. Buffalo has to vacate. Under a minute left on the man advantage here for the Sabres. Here's Tuck. Tried to walk it in. Good cutoff. Here's Quinn down low. Back to Tuck. A shot. Knocked down. Ullmark. Loose puck. Comes to the near boards. Clevin pinned to the boards by Quinn. And it floats out to Stützle, who flips it out of the zone again. 30 seconds to go on the man advantage. Stützle gets knocked down by Tage Thompson. 20 seconds to go on the power play. Greenway cut off on his way in. Thompson keeps it alive. On the wing, it's Mallenstein. Back out to Dahlin. Now Thompson and him play catch. And Spence gains control, and it comes back out to center as the power play expires. Thompson back in, back to full strength Ottawa. Kicked down by Ullmark, and the Senators jump on it. Buffalo now 0 for 2 on the power play in this game. We've had 3 power plays in total, and they're 0 for 3 combined. Greenwood brings it in down low. Mallenstein now works it in off the boards to Bryson. One-timer up top, goes just wide. Rebound. Tried to stuff it home as Mallenstein can't get it through. And Sanderson gains control. Back out to center and Pinto. Brings it up the near boards. Pinto tried to cut inside, and it floats out wide. Bryson, good defense. And it comes back out to center. Bryson takes a huge hit by Tkachuk. Ostlund brings it in, and Pinto takes it away. Brady Tkachuk absolutely level. Near side, that might have been offsides. No whistle as of yet. Oh, another big hit. That time, Ostlund hits the deck. Pinto can't keep it in the zone. Senators delivering the blows up and down the ice. Looking for the equalizer. Pinto inside, Krebs with the intercept, and Buffalo will exit. Near side, Ostlund. Out in front, a diving attempt by Tuck. Never got a stick on it. And the Senators will clear. Batherson drops it off for Cousins. Fires a shot deflected high off the boards and stays in play. Batherson gets knocked down. Near side, Power, number 25 in the white sweater, gains control. Floats to the near boards now. Race for the puck. Zetterlund and Metsa gets knocked down. Kept in at the line by Chabot. Jensen now fires off a body, and it goes out wide for Metsa to gain control, and he flips it out of the zone. Chabot right back in for the Senators. Here's Brady Tkachuk, a shot knocked down off the blocker of Luukkonen. A lot of action on both ends of the ice. Amadio out in front. Tkachuk denied by Luukkonen. In down below the goal line again. Tkachuk escapes out in front, just wide, and it goes off of Luukkonen. Batherson now pinned to the boards by Power, and Buffalo finally gets it out. Ostlund pestered by Tkachuk. What action on both ends of the ice here in a 1-0 game. Zetterlund in. Chabot now on the wing. Loses control. And it comes back out to neutral ice and Krebs for Buffalo. Krebs pestered from behind. Another turnover. Amadio brings it back. Here's Tkachuk. Back to Amadio. Goes out of the zone. And the Senators have to tag back up. Zetterlund fires it in on Luukkonen. Easy save and a stoppage. Chance to catch our breath here in the second period. A lot of action on both ends of the ice. As we take a look at Brady Tkachuk, we mentioned earlier he's been delivering huge hits. I don't think that any have been bigger than this. It's like Ray Lewis on skates. Buffalo out shooting Ottawa 29-15. Still a 1-0 Sabre lead. Norris pinned to the boards on the far side. Perrin escapes, trying to cut in, and a good stick from behind by Zucker to vacate the zone. Sanderson now on it for Ottawa as they backtrack in their own end. Just over 11 to play in the second. Still 1-0 Buffalo as it's fed in deep. Halliday meets it into the corner. Dahlin there defensively for Buffalo. Sanderson gains control in center now. Halliday turns back in. Halliday got tripped. That's going to be a penalty. And there's the whistle. Samuelson, I believe, was the guilty party. It was on the trip on the way in. And the Senators are going to go to the power play for the second time tonight. Senators 0 for 1 on the power play in this game. They have a man advantage here, looking for the equalizer. Greenway wins the draw for Buffalo. And the Sabres will exit with Malenstein, who feeds it around. Brady Tkachuk gets to the puck. Ottawa turns it over. Greenway off the blocker of Omar. Short-handed attempt there for the Sabres. And now Stützle into the zone. Trying to cut inside. Good defense by Buffalo. Circles around for Benson. Benson flips it up and out. Over halfway through the second period now. No goals scored in the period. $1:15 to go on the power play. Here's Brady Tkachuk up the near boards. Centering pass. Stützle denied by Luukkonen. Buffalo gains control. Norris will walk it out and flip it ahead. Under a minute now on the man advantage for Ottawa. Buffalo aggressive on this PK up ahead. Pinto gains control for the Senators. Pinto turns it over to McLeod, a bobble, and Buffalo turns back. Battleford and neutral ice, bodies flying along the near boards. Sanderson takes a shoulder now. And the power play's got under 30 seconds now. Intercepted by McLeod, who turns back here for the Sabres and flips it ahead again. Excellent penalty kill here for the Sabres this turn. Perrin now takes ahead. Bluebirds starting to rain down here in Ottawa. Flipped in deep again by Buffalo. Penalty will come to a close. Back to full strength come the Sabres. Battleford and the Senators in, and another penalty upcoming. This one on Buffalo again for a cross-check, and it's on Rasmus Dahlin. So back-to-back power plays now here for the Senators. So cross-checking is the call. Rasmus Dahlin to the penalty box, and a third power play here for the Senators. Looking to find the equalizer here in the second. Face-off control by Buffalo. Samuelson can't clear. Halliday pinned to the far half wall. Samuelson now has it again, and now Buffalo will exit. Pinto with the intercept in center. And Perrin feeds Batherson, who gets cut off at the blue line. Penalty kill unit has been excellent for the Sabres. Floats back into the Ottawa end. Perrin now feed Cousins into the zone. He gets poked to the far side. Power gets there for Buffalo, pinned to the boards. Greenway gains control. Buffalo will exit again. Malenstein walks it up ahead, short-handed. Samuelson off the post. Let it fly, and a short-handed attempt for Buffalo nearly find Pater. Now Brady Tkachuk inside, intercepted by Power. Under a minute to go on the power play, kept in by the Senators. Sanderson gets knocked to a knee. Stützle with a hit. Cousins now gets a hit by Greenway. Power gains control for Buffalo. 35 seconds to go on the power play, and it circles all the way back down. Ullmark settles it down behind the cage. Still no shots on goal on this penalty here for the Senators. Halliday up ahead. Brings it in wide. A shot smothered by Luukkonen. 15 seconds to go on the power play, and this penalty kill unit for the Sabres has been excellent. Take a look at Matthias Samuelsson. On that shot attempt and the short-handed attempt, goes right off the bar and deflects wide. .85 miles an hour catches iron. And it deflected right past Ullmark. Linus Ullmark has started every game this postseason, 9-2 record. Halliday spins around. Here's Garreau behind the back to Perrin now. A shot goes off a body to the near boards. Tuck is on it for Buffalo, flips it out, and that'll do it for the power play. Senators now 0 for 3 on the power play here tonight. Puck deflects to the near boards for Dahlin. To Tuck now. Good poke. Senators gain control in their own end. We've got 6 minutes to go in the period. Still 1-0. Halliday flips it ahead. Flip and follow back behind the net. Pinned to the board by Byram, number 4 in the white sweater. And he has the puck now. To the near boards and Dahlin, who will exit. Zucker now. Fires a shot, goes wide, and sits in the trapezoid. Stützle now feeds Zetterlund. Penalty's going to be called. Another one on Buffalo. Greg trying to cut in, and there's the whistle. Another penalty on Buffalo, the third of the period. And it's going to go on Byram, I believe, for a hold. Nope, it's on Rasmus Dahlin again. So back-to-back penalties on Rasmus Dahlin. And another power play upcoming for the Senators. Their fourth of the game. They're 0 for 3 coming into this one as they still are in search for the equalizer. Senators 0 for 3 on the power play, looking to find the equalizer on yet another man advantage. Stützle wins the draw. Batherson. Sanderson, a shot goes off the post. Batherson now in the corner. Tkachuk on the wing. Fires. Score! Brady Tkachuk with a power play goal for Ottawa. And this game is tied at 1 apiece. The Senators finally break through. And who else but Brady Tkachuk to light the fire here in the second. Third power play in this second period for the Senators. They finally cash in. Power play goal. Brady Tkachuk ties the game with his 5th goal of the postseason. And remember, he didn't have 1 goal all throughout the first round up until the second round against Pittsburgh. Out in front, Pito, denied by Luukkonen. Greg now on Amadio, inside, denied again by Luukkonen. Senators now on the attack, and Krebs finally exits. Here's Josh Doan. Doan tried to cut inside, comes in on Ullmark, who stops the play. 4:28 to go in the second. As we take a look at Luukkonen with a good save out in front. As Ottawa look for the 1-2 punch here in the second period, and Luukkonen just got a piece of it off the underside of the glove. Thompson will face off against Stützle here in the Senators' end, controlled by Buffalo. Samuelsson fires, tipped it wide, never got through, blocked out in front. Krebs pestered by Zub on the way. Kept alive by Doan. Here's Samuelson. Fires a shot blocked out in front by Zetterlund. And it floats out to the far half wall. Senators gain control in their own end. Uzel feeds ahead to Zub. Samuelson gains control. Thompson now through center ice. Near side Krebs. Squares his body, dropped it off to no man's land. Garreau is there for the Senators. Big hit behind the play. Clevin walks it in. Centering pass on the doorstep, picked up by Samuelson. And Doan will exit here for Buffalo. Takes a hit, but stays alive. Doan cuts inside, watch out! Denied, rebound goes wide of the net. To the near boards, Dahlin to Quinn, a shot wide. And it goes to the far half wall. Ostlund circles the net out in front, a bobble by Doan, and Cousins gains control. What a chance for Buffalo. Here's Brady Tkachuk. Tkachuk inside, loses it to Bryson. Buffalo works it in their own end, picked off in center by Halliday, back in. Halliday cuts inside, into the slot, tipped in on Luukkonen, who says no. 2:11 to go in the period, and what a game this has been. Halliday wins the draw. Cousins inside, bouncing puck into Luukkonen's grasp. 2:03 to go. Second period tied at 1. Each team has a goal. Buffalo scored their one goal in the first. Senators have scored their one goal here in the second. Spence to Clevin now. Squares it up. Off a body in front. Zucker will exit here for Buffalo. Works it up the far boards. Zucker centers, picked off by Pinto. Amadio back through center for Ottawa. Intercepted now by Zucker. 90 seconds to go in the period. Norris brings it in. Cuts to the net. And Ullmark can't find it. It goes in down low. Senators work it in their own end. Greg Pestard gets knocked down. Tuck now pinned to the boards by Clevin, number 43 in the black sweater. Norris keeps it alive. Here's Byram, intercepted by Pinto. And he'll exit. Under a minute now in the period. Amadio poked in the near boards by Byram. And they battle in the corner. Byram exits here for Buffalo. Tuck will exit. With 30 seconds to go, takes it away by Clevin. Intercepted in center by Norris to the near boards. Power exits. Here's Ostlund. Loses it on his way in. 10 seconds to go. Perrin pestered from behind. Buffalo's on it. Up ahead to Tuck. One final shot if they hurry. Tuck tried to cut inside, and he never gets a shot off. What a game. We're through 2 periods, tied at 1. The Senators find the equalizer on a power play goal by Brady Tkachuk. And we are set up for a tremendous third period on the way next from Ottawa. Yes, the Senators are still in it in my bracket, Odie. What up? Welcome in. Start of the third period, and it should be fun. Tied at 1 after 2 in Game 3. Both teams looking to take a 2-1 advantage in the series. Buffalo hasn't scored since the opening period. Ottawa found the equalizer in the second. Tage Thompson up ahead for Buffalo, cut off on his way in. Zub jumps on it here for the Senators. And they work it in their own end, and now out with Sanderson. Battle on neutral ice. Senators have to backtrack. Goes to the far side, and Stützle. Stützle brings it into the zone. Drops it off for Garreau. A shot goes wide. Thompson is there, pinned to the boards along the far half wall. Floats in off the side of the cage. Luukkonen finds the puck. And a stoppage 58 seconds into this one. Into the third period, tied at 1. As we take a look at Brady Tkachuk, who has the lone goal tonight here for the Senators. He's been delivering big hits up and down the ice. Laying his shoulder into people, and he found the equalizer on a power play goal about halfway through that second period. Brady Tkachuk has 5 goals this postseason. He didn't have any until the second round. He went through the entire first round. He went through almost the entire second round without having a goal. He didn't score till game 4 in round 2. And now he has 5 in the postseason. Into the slot, in on Luukkonen. Another stoppage, just over a minute gone by now here in the third. As we take a look at Linus Ullmark, 9-2 coming in to this game this postseason. One of his losses came in game 1 of this series. Senators only lost 1 game before this Eastern Conference final. They swept the Penguins in the second round. They lost 1 game in the first round. That has been it. Linus Ullmark has been good this postseason, and he's in a good battle here in game 3 of this series. Face-off back out to the point. Zub fires, tipped in on Luukkonen. The rebound, smothered by Luukkonen. What a stop. Cat-like reflexes, and he sprawls it out of the air to stop play again. Face-off control by the Senators. Sanderson has it blocked by Tuck. Sanderson sends it in. Tkachuk tried to spin and fire, and it goes wide. Buffalo is on it, back out the center. Norris cut off. Batherson back in here for Ottawa. Tried to center it inside. Good stick by Samuelson, who hits the deck in the process. Norris brings it up. Centers to Tuck. A shot knocked down by Ullmark. Near side, Batherson gains control. Senators working in their own end. Zub pinned to the boards on the near boards. Kept in by Tuck. Tuck tried to let it fly. Cut off up top. And here's Brady Tkachuk. Senators back the other way. Tkachuk in wide. Drops it off for Sanderson with a bobble. Into the slot. Byram takes control for Buffalo. Byram brings it back up. Takes a shoulder but keeps it alive. Here's Tuck. Wide of the net. Kept in at the line, and now Tkachuk flips it up ahead. And the race for the puck controlled by Power. Byram intercepted in center by Spence. We played 3 minutes here in the third in a tie game at 1. Game 3 of the Eastern Conference Final. Power feeds Greenway up ahead. Cut off on his way in. Jensen, good defense. Brings it in wide. Jensen. Try to drop it off. Malenston is there for the Sabres. Pinto with the intercept. Creating turnovers in neutral ice now. Pinto back in. Tried to let it fly. And he never got it off. Loose puck in the slot. Controlled by Buffalo. Krebs will exit. McLeod now. A shot on net. Forked to wide by Ullmark. Senators back on it through center and Parent. Feeds it around the boards. Buffalo works it on their own end. A chance to catch our breath here in the first few minutes of the third. Samuelson walks it ahead. Tried to drop it off. Good defense by Jensen right on his hip. Perrin will exit now here for the Senators. Greg now into the zone, surrounded by Sabres. Greg keeps it alive, and Luukkonen with a good save. Greg pinned to the boards by Krebs, number 19 in the white sweater, and Luukkonen finds the puck. 5 minutes gone by here in the third, tie game at 1. Faceoff sits on the dot, controlled by Buffalo. McLeod inside to Metza as him and McLeod play catch. McLeod now to Bryson, works in, denied by Ullmark, the rebound controlled by Ottawa. And Stuzel now back through center for the Senators. Garreau into the slot, bobbles and shot, denied by Luukkonen. 14:24 to go in the third. Buffalo out shooting the Senators 34-26 here in the early stages of the third period. Face-off control by the Senators. Clevin to Garreau. Fires a shot, kicked down by Luukkonen. Buffalo gains control and out to center and Bryson. Big hit on his way in. Garreau will turn back in here for the Senators. A bobble into the slot by Stuzel. Buffalo's on it again. McLeod now. Picked off in center by Zetterle. Stuzel now takes a shoulder by Tage Thompson. Thompson, good defense out in front, off the post. What an effort by Tage Thompson. Deep into the Ottawa end now. Zetterlund gains control. Stützle will exit to Klevet. Intercepted in center. Ostlund on it for Buffalo. Bryson back in. Off a Senator's stick, and it comes back out. Here's Amadio. Metza picks his pocket. And Buffalo's back on it through center ice. Here's Tage Thompson. Thompson cuts inside. Got off by Stützle. Trading turnovers back and forth. Jensen into the zone, flips it ahead. First guy to it is Byram, met by Amadio. Number 22 in the black sweater. Buffalo gains control. Krebs up ahead to Thompson. Thompson cuts inside. Ullmark meets him and stops play. 12:05 to go. Tage Thompson letting it fly here in the third period, and this one he cut inside and hit it right off the bar as he tried to tuck it in past Ullmark. Both of these teams looking for the third period go-ahead goal here in a tie game at 1. Been a fun one here in Game 3 of the Eastern Conference Final. Series tied at a game apiece. Latest win was the Senators in Game 2 down in Buffalo. Sabres took Game 1 at home. Samuelsson turns back here for the Sabres. Doan to Krebs now. Krebs sends it in. Tkachuk is there. And Ottawa's on it. Near side Cousins. Puts the brakes on. Good poke by Dahlin. Floats all the way back out to center. Senators back on it. Zub taken off his stick by Rasmus Dahlin. Back out to the red line and Zub. Intercepted by Ostlund now. Samuelsson in center. Feeds Benson. Goes off a Senator's stick. And Cousins now turns back. We played just over 9 minutes here in the third period. Still tied at 1. Cousins and Ostlund collide. Zub now feeds Tkachuk. Flips it to the far corner. Tkachuk gets knocked down. Batherson keeps it alive. Here's Sanderson to Zub. Denied in the rebound as Luukkonen had to sprawl out. No harm, no foul. Here's Quinn up ahead. Quinn. Score! What an effort by Quinn as he goes coast to coast. And Buffalo takes the lead in the third. He got pestered on his way in, bobbled it, and gets it right back. He was cut off right there. Keeps it alive, and what an effort by Jack Quinn for the go-ahead goal. It's 2-1 Buffalo here in Ottawa. Jack Quinn with his 7th goal of the postseason, just about halfway through the third period. And it's 2-1 Sabres back on top. Perrin looking for the response. Luukkonen to kick it down. Perrin another try, denied by Luukkonen, and it goes in down low. Cousins keeps it alive. Jensen can't handle, and Tuck turns back here for Buffalo. Here's Zucker now. He's got an open Norris, a shot smothered by Ullmark. Ullmark, despite the deficit, has had a good game tonight. Buffalo out shooting the Senators 37-30. Here in a low-scoring affair, defensive battle, and it's been fun. Samuelsson to Dahlin, a shot blocked out in front. And here come the Senators. Greg back through center, good defense by Rasmus Dahlin. Pinto in. Tried to center it. Pestered from behind by Norris. Zucker now. Tried to cut inside. Jensen with good defense. Amadio now. Here's Pinto up top. Back to Amadio. Tried to feed it inside. Here's Pinto again. Back out to the point. Chabot works in. Fires a shot. Goes off his stick. Amadio now. Chabot another shot. Glumped down by Luukkonen. 8:37 to go in the game. Senators looking for the equalizer here in the third. Senators win the draw. Jensen couldn't get it off. And Doan is on it here for Buffalo. Josh Doan works his way in, tried to get it off, and he never got a clean one off. Zetterlund turns back, takes a hit, but feeds Jensen. Jensen inside, a bobble. Stützle takes a shoulder. And Buffalo will exit once more. Here's Tage Thompson. Pestered on his way in. Senators turn back. Stützle now takes a hit. Doan now hits the deck on a hit by Stützle. In down low for Byram, who gains control for the Sabres out to center. 7.5 to go, regulation time in a one-goal game. Doan turns back here for Buffalo. 2-on-1 in favor of the Senators. Thompson, long shot, denied by Omar. Zetterlund pinned into the corner. Sanderson gains control for Ottawa. Garreau now, as Buffalo changes. Nearly got caught with too many men as it gets floated in deep. Sabres back on it in their own end. We're under 7 to play now in the third. Here's McLeod. Centering pass, never got off. Good defense by Tkachuk. And the Senators are on it. Here's Cousins up top. Near side. Pinto gets cut off. And here's Quinn through center. Near side taken away by Clevitt. Quinn back on it here for Buffalo. Cousins turns back, watch out. Jailbreak Senators. Denied by Luukkonen. Cousins with a great chance. Gregg keeps it alive on the wing. Zub blocked out in front. Kept in. Tipped just wide. And it goes to the far corner. Still in down low. Byram gains control. And Buffalo will exit. What a chance for the Ottawa Senators to try to tie it. Greenway now forked to wide by Omar. Senators on control. Just over 5 to play here in regulation. Here's Zub. Gregg now. Trying to work it into the slot, cut off by Byram. Kept in at the line by Clevitt. Gregg on the wing, off a skate. Clevitt now. Up top, Tkachuk. Clevitt into the slot, pestered, and he never got a shot off. McLeod exits, here's Greenway. Senators back on it in neutral ice as we approach the 4.5 mark to go in the third. Zub inside, Cousins off a body. Tkachuk now down low. Into the boards by Doan. Greenway now on it for Buffalo. Back out to McLeod. 2-on-1 back the other way. McLeod drops it off into the slot. Tipped in the air back behind the net. Omar with a good save to keep it alive for the Senators. We're under 4 to play. Gregg walks it up ahead. Centering pass goes all the way through. Tkachuk inside. What a save by Luukkonen. Sprawling out on the inside, and it skates out for a 2-1 Buffalo, maintaining their lead. Look at this chance out in front. That was the save by Omar on the redirect. And now Luukkonen on this side somehow is able to find it. Ostlund wins the draw here for Buffalo. Ballenstein through center, 3.5 to go, flipped in deep. Senators looking for the equalizer. Their lone goal came in the second, courtesy of Brady Tkachuk. Buffalo with the go-ahead goal earlier here in this third period, and it's 2-1. Greenway works in, Ballenstein loses control into the slot. That one goes off a body. Ballenstein keeps it alive. Greenway goes off a body. Bobbled puck down low. Spence now gains control for the Senators. Back out to center. Brady Tkachuk, 2.5 to go. Here's Cousins, inside Batherson, over skates, Cousins, score! Dylan Cousins with the game-tying goal. It's 2-2 here in Ottawa. It rattled around the bars. I think it hit every single possible bar it could have on its way in. Off the right post, off the left post, and into the net it goes for the game-tying goal here late. And what a game this has turned out to be. 2:24 left regulation time, and it's a brand new game. Zucker feeds it in deep here for Buffalo. Sabres still out shooting the Senators 40-34 with 2 minutes left. We've seen late game heroics in this postseason by the Sabres before, including the Game 7 game-winning goal in round 2 to get him into this Eastern Conference final, where they scored the game-winning goal with 17 seconds left in that game. And it was this guy with the puck right here who scored it, Tuck, who loses it to Halliday. Turns back for the Senators. Perrin now taken off his stick by Samuelsson. We're under 90 seconds to go in regulation. Tuck back into the zone. Fires, and he never got it off. He broke his stick in the process. Kept in at the line by Dahlin, and this one kicked down, goes off the broken stick. Loose puck in the slot, and the Senators survive. 1 minute to go in regulation in Game 3. Pinto takes it away for the Senators. Perrin will backtrack, trying to set up a play. Chabot will start the break in. Loses it to Jensen. Dahlin now has it. And a battle for it in neutral ice with 40 seconds left. Krebs into the zone. Here's Norris. Hook to the far boards. Krebs pinned there by Pinto. Metsa on the point to Dahlin. Dahlin sends it in. Doan just wide off of Ullmark. Doan another try, tried to tuck it home. And it goes off the side of the cage. Under 25 seconds to go. Krebs out in front. Ullmark holds his ground. And a stoppage with 20 seconds left. What a battle. Thompson will face off against Stützle. 20 seconds to go. Back out to the point for Metsa. A shot tipped wide to the near side. 14 seconds and counting. Senators are on it. Stützle takes a hit, a turnover. Zetterlund now keeps it out of harm's way. Out to center with 5 seconds left. Bryson takes it off his stick, and this game smells like overtime. What a game from Ottawa tonight. Game 3 needs more action. To overtime we go in a 2-2 game in Game 3. It is the start of overtime here in Game 3 of the Eastern Conference Final. Sudden death, next goal wins. And next goal takes a 2-1 series lead as well. It's been fun, and we get bonus hockey here tonight from Ottawa. And Buffalo will start with the initial turn. Thompson poked on his way in, a bobbled puck. Controlled by the Senators. Zetterlund will walk it ahead, pestered from behind. He got tripped. Delayed penalty and a save by Luukkonen. There's the whistle. And immediately into the extra period, Samuelsson gets called for a tripping call, and the Senators will go to the power play. Senators have one power play goal in this game. They're 1 for 4. And a chance to win it here on the man advantage to start overtime. Tkachuk back out to the point. Sanderson works in. Batherson a shot off a body. Tkachuk trying to go for the redirect out in front, and Buffalo will clear. Brady Tkachuk will start the break in. Cut off by Metsa on his way in. Buffalo's on it as they work it in their own end, and now out back the length of the ice. Next goal wins here in overtime. Game 3 of the Eastern Conference Final, tied at 2. Sanderson poked on his way in now. Power pinned into the corner. Kicks along the near half wall. Tuck is there for Buffalo, and he flips it out of the zone. Brady Tkachuk, who scored the power play goal earlier, brings it ahead. Drops it off, and a save out in front. Luukkonen keeps it out. 51 seconds to go on the power play. Faceoff sits on the dot. Malenstein's on it here for Buffalo. Flips it out of the zone. Halliday right back in here for the Senators. Byram cuts him off, and Buffalo has had an excellent penalty kill tonight, despite that one goal by Brady Tkachuk. earlier in the game. That was on the third straight power play for the Senators. Here's Garreau back in. 19 seconds to go on the man advantage. Mallenstein with the intercept. And kept in by Halliday. Mallenstein pins him to the boards. Down low, Perrin. Back up top, Garreau. Other side, Chabot now with a bobble. And the power play expires. Mallenstein tried to feed Samuelson out of the box, but good cutoff by the Senators. So back to full strength. Overtime continues. Byram runs into Thompson coming off the bench. As we battle in neutral ice, here's Pinto. Dangles to the outside, drops it off into the slot, and Buffalo gets it out. Here's Tage Thompson. Thompson brings it in wide, cut off on his way in. Pinto turns back here for Ottawa. Trading turnovers back and forth here in overtime. Chabot pestered along the far half wall. Samuelson nearly took it away, and Omar just finds the loose change. 16:23 to go in overtime. Next goal wins, and it's basically been all Senators on the attack to this point. But we're going to face off here in the Ottawa zone. Controlled by Buffalo. Dahlin fires, glove down by Omar. Just under 4 minutes gone by here in overtime. Face off again, controlled by Buffalo. Dahlin to Samuelson, tipped out in front, rebound into the slot, hack and whack, and kept out by Omar. Zucker now on the wing, inside, Omar with another save. Faceoff goes back to Buffalo again. Bryson to the point, and Zucker tipped wide. Rebound, Tuck tried to tuck it home. Short-sighted again. Omar holds his ground. And Buffalo on the attack now. Another faceoff win for Buffalo. Metza fires, and Omar sprawls out again. Face-off here in the Ottawa zone again. Comes back out to the point. Bryson to Metza now. Sends it into the slot. Bouncing puck. Controlled by Ottawa. Here come the Senators now. Back out of the zone. Garreau fires. Forked wide by Luukkonen. Stuzel pinned into the corner. Goes in back behind Stuzel. Looking for a place to go. Zub. Poke to the outside. Keeps it alive. Sends it in. And Luukkonen finds the bouncing puck. We've played just over 5 minutes here in overtime. Buffalo gains control off the draw. Work it out to center. Here's Doan up ahead. Sends it in on Omar, who forks it wide. Into the corner now. Levin gains control for Ottawa, and he flips it out of the zone. Goes off of Amadio. To the near boards it comes. Gregg battles on the near boards. Floats over to Amadio, brings it in. Survives the hit. Flips it in on Luukkonen, who makes the save again. Faceoff will come in the Buffalo end. Sits on the dot. Gregg into the slot. Denied by Luukkonen. Thompson gains the rebound in the corner, and here's Josh Doan. Doan works it up ahead for Buffalo. Tried to cut inside. Back out to Byram now. Pinned to the boards in front of the Buffalo bench. Comes back out to center. Power is on it for Buffalo. Doan back to Power. Buffalo works it in center ice. Thompson now into the zone. Turns it over to Spence. And here's Amadio. Battle for it at the blue line. Amadio into the zone. Looking for a center out in front. Intercepted by Byram. Amadio keeps it in the zone. Inside Gregg, tried to backhand flip it in, and it goes off a body. Rebs will exit here for Buffalo. Here's Ostlund up ahead. Into the slot, forked wide by Omar. To the near half wall. Ostlund into the slot, and he never got a clean one off, and Omar finds the puck. What a battle. Next goal wins. We played over 7 minutes here in overtime. Draw goes to the Senators. Brady Tkachuk on the puck. Jensen feeds up ahead, Batherson. Batherson now Cousins. Inside, a bobble by Jensen. A shot off the blocker of Luukkonen. Cousins to the point. Chabot fires. Luukkonen keeps it out, and he gets it on his backside. Here's Jensen, a shot kicked out by Luukkonen. And Dahlin gains control for Buffalo. Near side Quinn. Works it in. Benson works in off the blocker and out of play off of Omar. What a battle between these two teams. Faceoff goes to Buffalo. A shot off a body. Comes out wide but kept in the zone. Now intercepted by Brady Tkachuk. Tkachuk brings it up the near boards, flips it in deep. Samuelson meets Batherson. Out in front, save, swatted out of the air by Luukkonen. Comes to the near boards, race for the puck. Rasmus Dahlin wins it. And out to Tuck now up top. Tuck, a shot wide. In back behind Norris, pinned to the boards. To the near half wall, Metza, Norris, Tuck, deflected out of play. And we are almost halfway through this overtime period. Face-off controlled by Ottawa. A turnover, Tuck out in front, intercepted by Zub. And Stützle walks it out. Here's Garreau now, weaves to the outside, flips it in on Luukkonen. He was going for a rebound, and it never got it. 10:19 to go in overtime. Ostlund wins the draw for the Sabres. Ostlund turns it over. Stützle with a loose puck controlled by Buffalo. That was dangerous as we're halfway through overtime now. Stützle backtracks in his own end. Senators get it back through center and Sanderson. Sanderson outskates one, trying to drop it off. Malenstein to Zub now. A shot goes off a skate. Buffalo pinned to the boards. Malenstein, that is, floated out to the blue line but kept in. Garreau fires, save Luukkonen. Malenstein there for the rebound. Pinned to the boards by Zetterlund, number 20 in the black sweater. And Ostlund will bring it out. Ostlund brings it in, looking for a center. Squares his body in down low, cut off by Zub. Senators are on it, back to center. Zetterlund up ahead, working with Amadio. Cut off by Byram. Zetterlund keeps it alive, and Luukkonen with a save. Thompson cross ice to Quinn. Quinn cut off on his way in. Sanderson gains control for the Senators. Zetterlund cut off at the blue line. Battle for it in front of the Buffalo bench. Sabres are on it here in center. Thompson back into the zone. Trying to get off a shot. Good defense from behind by the Senators. Under 8 to go in overtime. Here's Brady Tkachuk. Fires a shot. Deflects it into the corner. Aaron pinned to the boards by Thompson. Kicked in down low. Byram is there. Shielded by Tkachuk. And it comes out to Quinn through center ice. Tage Thompson into the zone. He got tripped. No whistle. Incidental contact maybe with the shoulder there by the Senators. Gregg, a shot off the blocker of Luukkonen. Sanderson flips it back towards Ullmark. Feeds Zub. Keeps play alive. Gregg back in. Cut off at the blue line. Quinn turns back. Trading turnovers back and forth again here in overtime. Drag up top to Brady Tkachuk. Pestered on his way in by Samuelson. Byram now on the loose change here for Buffalo. Intercepted at the red line by Perrin. Tkachuk back in. Nearly turned it over. Tkachuk now turns it over to Samuelson. He's creating turnovers back and forth. A turnover here. Perrin a shot. Gloved down by Luukkonen. Man. Which team wants it more? 6:04 to go in the first overtime period. Face-off control by the Senators. Inside, denied Luukkonen. And the rebound comes to Byram. Benson will exit here for the Sabres. Senators are on it. They feed it in around the boards. Race for the puck won by Spence. Perrin into the slot, can't handle, and it goes into the trapezoid. Power is there for Buffalo. Sabres will get it out of the zone again. Intercepted in center by Cousins. Spence now Perrin into the zone. Flips it ahead. Byram on it here for Buffalo. 5 minutes to go in overtime. Josh Doan taken off his stick by Clevin now. Back to center ice. Krebs jumps on it for Buffalo. Sabres working in center. We're about 4.5 to go in overtime. Doan inside, never got it off. And the Senators are on it. Kept in by Samuelson, who sends it in. And it goes off a mountain of bodies. And it goes all the way down the length of the ice. This could be an icing call. No whistle. We play on. Samuelson pinned to the boards by Cousins. Flip to the near boards for Garreau. Out in front. What a save by Luukkonen. Puts the game on his shoulders and keeps it out. Oh, he was wide open on the inside, and what a save it was by Luukkonen. Faceoff will come in the Buffalo end. We're under 4 to go here in the first overtime. Buffalo will walk it out of the zone with Tuck. Trying to cut inside. Chabot was right there. Stützle takes the hit. He gets knocked down. Senators gain control in their own end. They turn it over, and Tuck fires in on Ullmark, who makes the save with 3.5 to go. Just off the glove of Luukkonen on that end. Ooh. We're looking for it. Luukkonen has had an excellent game in this one. Both of these goaltenders putting on a show here in a 2-2 game in overtime. We're going to face off here in the Ottawa end with 3.5 to go in the first overtime. Senators are on it. Watch out. Turnover. Tuck. One pass too many. A one-timer. And it's tipped in. Rasmus Dahlin out in front. And Buffalo takes game 3. What a game from Ottawa tonight. And Buffalo with the crowd silencer. What a goal out in front. It was actually Josh Norris who put it in. And Buffalo wins a thriller in overtime. What a redirect out in front. Gets it past Ullmark. And the OTGWG belongs to Josh Norris. And Buffalo takes game 3. What a game from Ottawa. The Sabres take a 2-1 series lead. We'll get another game here in Ottawa for game 4. As we're just trading games back and forth. Game 1 went to Buffalo. Game 2 went to Ottawa. And game 3 goes back to Buffalo. 3-2 the final score. Good night from Ottawa.